Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bring you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Good evening, everybody. It's a Thursday night. It's the Fanatical Elfz Show. I'm your host, co-host, John Suchan. There is my other host, Steve Gill. Welcome, Steve Gill. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. So wonderful. 91 degrees. Feels like 93. It's June, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
June goes fast. You know, it's already June 10th, right? June 11th?
June 11th.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me how fast things go.
I know. Wait till you get to my age, they speed up even quicker.
Now, don't tell me that. That's kind of...
Well, that's the truth. I got nothing to do with it. Father time.
The Brownies have been at minicamp this week. I guess they think they finished up today.
Veteran minicamp.
Yes. Overall thoughts to start with, Steve?
They're still in shorts. It's June.
Yes,
First
indeed.
Thought, they are fine with Quinson Junkins and Dylan Sampson as your number one and number two running back. Second thought, Denzel Boston is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my thoughts. Also, Verse is on defense. Verse is everything is advertised.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some nice things to say about Fano at left tackle. So that's good to see. Guys,
okay.
Two-time Pro Bowler, so he knows going up against linemen. But other than that, you know, it's just been your typical mini camp.
There are a lot of new things. Yeah, there are some new things, and I wanted to get your thoughts, you know, today. I know some people, the conversation with Cleveland has centered around, you know, the trade and the quarterback competition. I guess if I just talk about the quarterback competition to begin with here, Todd Monken came out and today addressed, you know, the competition and saying that he wasn't going to announce a starter, that he thought that both quarterbacks were doing a lot, that he felt comfortable with both of them playing in the NFL and winning games. You'd hope he'd say that about Deshaun Watson, but it spoke highly, I think, of Shedeur. And so it doesn't sound like they're going to make that announcement or plan on anything quite yet. So what are your initial, what are your thoughts there?
Well, if Deshaun's so good, he should have separated himself weeks ago from two second-year players. But, you know, like I said in my blog this week, I went back and looked at some games from when the last time Deshaun played and some games from last year.
I read that,
Shedeur Sanders, and frankly, yuck. They better improve. Or we're going to be taking a quarterback. The Browns will be drafting a quarterback in the top 5 next year. Because I'll give you the first game he played in 24, the Dallas game, home opener. Dallas pressured.
I was there.
Pressured him 40 times, and 22 of those 40 were his fault.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's you know, and the rest of those games, I mean, they started 1-6. And they were just, I mean, they had a potential to beat the Raiders, beat the Giants, beat the Eagles. Even in the win to Jacksonvile, he did nothing spectacular.
No.
I just don't see, you know, he can sit there and say all he wants to, that he's glad he has the opportunity to start in the NFL again. But, you know, I have the opportunity to win the lottery every week. And yet, here I sit.
Well, I guess that's part of the conversation. Like this, morning here in Columbus. I listen to 97.1 The Fan here in Columbus, and I really like their guys. They have some former Buckeyes and some guys who actually played for the Browns in the past. And they were talking a little bit about what you just talked about with this quarter competition between Watson and Shador, and a little bit about what you already talked about with Watson having all the experience and everything. But when you listen to these two guys talk, and like Watson spoke yesterday, I think for the first time in a long time, and then Shador spoke as well. The contrast, and that's what they talked about this morning in the conversation, was the upside for Shador and how Shador addressed the competition or working on him getting himself getting better. While when they were talking about when Watson was talking again, he was asked some questions about how the fans interpret him and all of this. And the guy that was talking on the radio was, at least the examples he was sharing were again talking about how Watson is, talking about him and me, and it's more individualized, while Shador is talks in more terms of team and working together, and there's just that separation. And I wanted your thoughts on that. Do you think that, I mean, it's probably not fair to say that Watson's not a team guy, but you've already talked about how he was miserable in 2024, started off terrible. He's coming back. He probably wants to continue playing in the NFL, and maybe this
I
is
don't
a
I don't
no.
see him as any more than a backup moving
Hmm.
forward. And I think this is why he talks this way, and this is why the team is presenting him this way, is so
Uh,
that when they cut him, he gets the best opportunity to
hmm.
go play for another team as a backup. And in the NFL, your number two quarterback's eventually going to start
Hmm.
sometime, because it
Yeah.
usually happens that the number one gets hurt. Right now, I think the two of them are average at best.
Hmm.
And like in baseball, when they say the tie goes to the runner, the tie will go to the younger guy who starts.
Hmm.
So I think Sanders will start, because I don't think they want to go down that road of trotting out Deshaun Watson as your starting quarterback. They're going to give him every opportunity, but I have a feeling that, I just can't see it. I
Well, and
mean,
that was the other part of this conversation with specifically with Deshaun Watson and the perception that fans have, and we've talked about this endlessly as well. But there's this part of the fan base is completely gone away from it. Like they're not rooting for the Browns. They're not watching games anymore. They've decided while Watson's on the team, this goes back to when he was first brought in with all the allegations and everything. So there's that group, and then there's the group that was, supposedly booing at the time when he got injured. And I know that was brought up a little bit at this press conference yesterday. But the conversation these guys were having on the radio was just again back and forth about, are those fans, that were supposedly booing them? I mean, were they really mad at him, or were they just pissed off that the Browns sucked at that moment in time? They weren't very successful. And is that more the reason why they were
well,
booing?
I don't know why fans move. I think these questions, I went back and listened to some of it. A lot of those media questions were Watson centered questions. So that's how he's going to answer them.
Sure.
He is going to say mean.
Right.
And a lot of the questions I listened to when Shador was interviewed, and a lot of those questions were about him and how he feels like the coach is treating him, and how the team, how he's reacting to, because his big bugaboo was,
Yeah.
you know, pressure him, and he holds
Yeah.
on to the ball too long. And I think Moken even said that he's improved, but he's still got a long way to go
The quarterback coach
today.
came out today and talked a little bit too about his footwork and some of the, I forget the guy's name, the coach's name, but said that basically Shador, like what you've already said too, like he's making lots of progress in a lot of different areas, and
Well,
players are talking about it.
when you're really really bad and you get up to poor, that's progress. I want to see a lot more progress in training camp in July.
Yeah.
A lot more. Or, like I said in my blog, we're going to be looking around for a veteran quarterback to start, and it ain't going to be Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So,
Well, now you mentioned Denzel Boston.
whew, that kid
He's really
is,
gotten a lot of
man,
accolades from a lot of different people, and
he should.
just his size, his maturity, his ability to run a route. And again, they're running in t-shirts and shorts, and
Well, he
uh,
still
but
separates,
yeah,
even against veterans, like guys like Tyson
he's a
Campbell.
big kid too.
Yeah, I know he's huge. So yeah, he's already showing that ability to separate as a rookie
Hmm.
against better cornerback play
Hmm.
this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's going to be a tremendous help to this lousy offense.
Now Harold Fannin, hasn't participated still, right? Are there any
No, he's
updates on
still
him?
hurt. He got hurt in that
Yeah.
Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. Okay. I know I wrote an article a couple weeks ago about it, and I know there's some speculation. I mean, is he going to be
Yeah,
a?
he fell when he caught that touchdown pass.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one of
Hopefully,
those. I watched that game.
yeah.
And
Hopefully, he'll be okay.
I hope
Um,
so.
well, and then like Spencer Fano, you pointed out he got mentioned by the new kid Jared Verse, right? You said something about that.
Yeah, they interviewed. Verse was available, and he said he was very impressed with the young man. He said once he gets a hold of you, he doesn't let go. He's got fast hands.
Mm,
He said he had a good anchor, and that's good because Verse he's a bull rusher. He's not your Miles Garrett where he's going to dance and quick you on the
yeah.
outside. He's just going to freaking run you over,
Right.
and he does. That's what he
Steve
does.
almost swore there.
When a guy said it described him as a blunt force trauma, he ain't kidding. So for him to say that he can hold up, has a good anchor, that's good quality. Now, as for the rest of the offensive line, I think they're waiting for somebody to step up,
Mhm.
either Luke Whippler or Parker Brailsford, and take the center job away from Elton Jenkins so they can move Jenkins to right guard.
Okay.
But if the two young guys don't, I think they're in great hands with Elton Jenkins, and then all they got to do is find a right guard. And they
Hmm.
tried KT Levinson. What did I tell you? I told you I even
Hmm.
put in my way too early roster as one of the guards. They had Tavon Jenkins in there today. They
Okay.
tried that Jack Conley guy who's very said tons of nice things about the coaching staff. He said they don't treat me like an undrafted player. They
Well, that
treat
was
me,
yeah.
yeah,
So
and I heard he's very receptive. He's like a sponge. So he has a possibility of making this squad, but they got to find a right guard. And
that the
it wouldn't
coaching
surprise,
staff
wouldn't
just
surprise me if it's Livingston. Livingston is a hell of a run blocker. He just can't be out there on the outside and pass blocking.
when Shador Sanders was talking about Todd Monken and stuff, he was mentioning about Todd Monken's style and coaching and things that you've kind of mentioned a little bit here with the coaches. And I don't think they're letting these guys get away with a lot of crap. Like they're stopping play, they're
For
addressing
long
things.
periods of time, teaching moments. And
Yeah,
this is when you do that. These OTAs and mini camps. Once you get to training camp, you better know the playbook and you better
yeah,
come ready.
yeah.
So yeah, he can stop. Like I think he stopped like 3 times today. I know a person that's at training camp, and I
Yeah.
read his notes. He posts his notes,
Uh-huh.
and he was kind of confused the first 2 times they stopped play. He thought, well,
Uh-huh.
maybe it's a water break. He said, no, teaching moment.
Yeah.
So
Is that
yeah,
who's this? Is this your
this
special?
guy's name is Pete Smith. You can find him
Oh
on
yeah, Pete
Twitter.
Smith. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
got
very
him. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He's very, very good. He knows what he's talking about, and he's not going to give you a bunch of fanboy comments. Like don't believe everything you see on Twitter in short little video clips. He's going to tell
Well, I
you what's
like
going on.
yeah, and I like what Todd Monken said too about like uh, moving forward and going into camp and how veterans aren't going to be having days off. Maybe if it's a medical situation, sure, but all these guys are going to be suited up. They're going to be out there. They're part of the team, and this team is very young. I think that's something that you and I have talked about
Oh
with
yeah,
Sam over the last couple Thursdays. And to be honest, I mean your take and my take on the Miles Garrett. I posted some things on our social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube and things that, you mentioned, uh, Miles Garrett, nobody came to his birthday party. And
Bo
so,
Callahan, man. He
right.
got the Bo
Yeah,
Callahan
you got some
treatment on
comments, by the
social
way.
media.
People are really reacting to our takes on that. But I think there's a lot of people out there that are finding this sort of refreshing now. I know we all know what Miles Garrett was all about and what he did for this team, but he didn't produce wins. Yeah, he helped. I'm sure maybe there was one or two games that if we didn't have him, maybe we don't win. But the Browns still didn't have non-winning records, and he's not here any longer. And I think that's going to help Todd Monken, these new coaches. I think it's just you've got all these young guys now really centered on working together. I would hope, you'd think that at this point it's a new team, a new feel, and so maybe that's going to pay off somehow down the line. Maybe not always with wins, but I certainly feel a lot better after hearing some of these things from the players and the coaches the last couple of days. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah. Today it was today it was kind of like everybody kept saying it was kind of like last day of school day. It was a very, very relaxed. Players were dancing to the music.
I
And all
saw that.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, they need a little depth at certain positions. Defense would be nice. I saw Ronnie Hickman signed his tender, so that's good. I still love Donovan McMillan. I still think he makes the team, undrafted rookie from last year.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for training camp to start. And I have a feeling Andrew Berry's going to fill some holes, get some depth guys.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll extend Grant Delpit and we can move on.
We got about a month and a half now. It sounds like they're not going to start till the end of July.
Around mid-July. Usually it's around the 17th or 18th.
Someone's projected today said the 29th is what I heard.
29th. Wow.
Yeah. I think Darryl Ryder or somebody reported that it looked like they weren't going to start because they said the NFL season starting a week later than usual.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Labor Day falls on the 7th or something like that?
Yeah, it's very late. So I don't think those first games are till like the 12th or 13th. Well, anyway, hey, we're going to pause.
Yeah, Labor Day is the 7th. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's pause here for a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we're going to talk more about the Browns mini camp and a lot of other things. We'll be right back here on the Fanatical Elfz. Hey, thanks for coming back to the Fanatical Elfz show. It's Thursday night. There's Steve Gill. I'm John Suchan.
There's John Suchan.
Have a Hemisphere.
There he is, right there.
Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. Check out our X page. Click on it. You buy some amazing coffee, and some of that percentage of that purchase goes back here to us at the Fanatical Elfz show. Also, shout out to Sherry's Cherry Licorice. This stuff is dynamite. Let me tell you, my wife started ordering this a month or two ago. They're from Goshen, Ohio. Check out they have a website, Sherry's.
Yes, they do. I've already checked it out.
Have you already checked it out? So yeah. We've been talking to Sherry's Licorice. Fingers crossed. We love their licorice, all sorts of flavors. I got cherry here. They're coming out with watermelon, or I think they just came out with watermelon. So
they have a green apple. Of course, they have your traditional strawberry and black licorice, which my wife loves.
Oh yeah, my wife loves that too. Oh, I've never liked black licorice. I don't.
Oh, my dad loved it. That's how I got to eat it.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good.
But shout out to them. Hope we're trying to work on some things maybe on the backside of things, and maybe have some connections with them down the line. So shout out to both Sherry's Licorice and Hemisphere Coffee Roasters.
Drink a cup of coffee Steve, and eat licorice.
Yeah, that's not a bad diet. Let me tell you, right? First thing,
I wouldn't recommend it as a diet.
Well, hey, Steve, tomorrow's my last day working with the school, so I'm looking forward to my long vacation. I get 6 weeks off, so
wow. Vacations I don't get excited because I'm self-employed.
Right.
If I'm not working, I ain't making money. I don't get paid vacations.
Well, that's what we were just talking.
And I got
Because
about 5 extensions sitting over there, just waiting. So
see now, Laura's working from home too, my wife, and so family business now, and so. But we're going down to Cincinnati next Tuesday and Wednesday. The Reds actually have a game, and I'm meeting a friend who's a Reds fan down there in Cincinnati for a game. We're my wife went to the University of Cincinnati, so we were going to make kind of a couple days visit, but she also informed me tonight that she might have to work from the hotel because there's a lot going on right now with the business. So you can never escape, right? With your line of work too, I know.
no, I had a guy today who forgot to tell me he wanted me to do his ex-wife's business return, and I said, "Well,
Oh,
okay, give me the information."
his ex-wife's business.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she's a hairdresser. He's a nice guy.
That's
They're
good.
still, they have a couple kids, and they're still friends.
Well,
So
and that's the thing, right? When you have family, yeah, for sure.
As opposed to my first marriage, which was ended in arguments and my inability to be a human being. Apparently, I don't know where that comes.
It is funny though. We wish all of you out there happy tides and good relationships. And
when she told me that, I said, "Were you married to somebody else?"
What did she say exactly? Because I've been told a lot of things too with my first time. It's crazy, crazy stuff. Anyway, we have a lot better things to talk about.
Well, I met my wife 6 days later, and we've been married 40 years. So
that's tremendous. I love
apparently
that.
I am a human being. It just depends.
Yes, you are, Steve.
Who the other human being is.
No, I was told over and over again. My statement was that I ruined this person's life. I think I've ruined them. That was always
wow.
That was I know. Like I didn't know I had that
much.
I didn't know I had that much power.
I know. I was about to say, how'd you get all this power? Wow.
Superhuman. We're superhuman, Steve. So
yes, we are. No, I'm not.
Back to football.
Back to football.
What do you think? I know Myles Garrett isn't part of the LA Rams, but now tell me if I'm wrong on this. I was reading something today that said, he was at the camp. We talked about him showing up, and then I heard that they canceled the mini camp with the Rams. Did you hear that story?
They shut it on. Another team did it too. It's just
okay.
You get into this, in June, and there's not really a lot more you can do. And so if things are going well, you give them a last day off and send them home. Well, so the Rams left tackle got arrested for allegedly for abuse. So
that's not good.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah.
Recently, like this week?
Yeah, this week.
Wow.
Assault.
Now, the opposite of that, I found the best part of this week, well, one of the nicest, coolest things was Joel Bitonio announced his retirement. What I loved most about his, and you can elaborate on Joel and what he meant to Cleveland. I love the comment that he made about how he was roommates one time with Johnny Manziel, and that he learned from Johnny Manziel of what not to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I find it interesting that it doesn't surprise me that Joe Bitonio, the letter you wrote to the fans, very, very classy.
Oh yeah.
Everybody talks about the 2020 Browns offensive line being the best. Now go back and watch that 2014 line. I mean, you had Joe Thomas, Bitonio as a rookie. You had Alex Max at center. You had John Greco at the other guard, and you had Mitchell Schwartz at the right tackle.
Oh man!
And they ran the ball, and they had 3 running backs that ran the ball. They had Ben Tate and Terrence West, and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Oh yes, Isaiah Crowell.
Isaiah Crowell.
The Crow.
And they had Shanahan as their offensive coordinator. So that's back when. Mike Pettin was the quarterback. Was the head coach.
I liked Mike Pettin. Everybody talked about.
And Hoyer was the quarterback. They were good. I occasionally, when I'm feeling down about the Browns, I'll pull up the 2014 game here in Nashville. It used to be the biggest road comeback or biggest comeback
Yeah.
by opposing team. Somebody else has done it since then, but
That was
just to
yes.
watch that game is just amazing.
Yeah,
And I
that
was
was great.
there too. So
Yes, you were. Yeah. Uh, the Browns have really, honestly, I know they haven't. I know the perception, especially right now, and what we've been going through, because Deshaun's here and the big trade and all this stuff. But they've had some really decent teams. And honestly, I know some people always like to hammer, oh, the Browns suck and all this stuff, but they really they have had several good squads, like you just mentioned. That if we're something goes this way or that way, I mean they could be contending more than they did. There were just some things that just didn't go great. I mean, that 2014 season, Brian Hoyer, if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong. I remember they started out well. I think they were 7-4, and then Johnny was on that team, and
and
there
then
was a
Ray
lot of
Farmer said, start Johnny Manziel.
yeah. I mean, it was
It
devastating.
didn't
I
win another
remember.
game.
I remember I was in the car listening to the Browns played the Atlanta Falcons. It was an away game, and
They won
and they
that game
they won that
because
game.
because Atlanta made. I watched that game at the bar, and Atlanta's head coach, I can't remember who it was, made the huge. He didn't call a timeout. I
Yeah,
mean, well, he did call a timeout, and it gave the
yeah.
Browns a one last shot, and they took advantage of
Hmm.
it. It's just
No,
crazy. But yeah, over the years, they've had moments
they
where
have
they were good. I mean,
2001,
everybody
2002.
talks about the 2020 team, but they had the crappiest defense known to man. I
Hmm.
mean, Kevin Stefanski had to pour it on every game because he
Yeah.
knew that Al Woods' defense wouldn't hold. And sure enough, like at the Tennessee game here, where they got up big. I mean, Mayfield threw 4 touchdown passes in the first half, and of course, did a quarterback sneak late and lost the fumble, which Baker did a lot and still does a lot.
Yeah.
But they had to hold on for dear life. I
Hmm.
mean, it just
Well,
you
they've
need
had
a
their
complete
moments.
team.
Yeah, and that's
Well, last year, the special teams put them in a hole because
mhm.
they were so crappy, and they were crappy, and they should have beaten the Jets. And defense was on and off. They should have beat Minnesota over in England. I mean, they had that game won,
Yes.
but then they let Carson Wentz march down the field on them. So-called top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Should have beaten Tennessee, but they were trying to get Miles his sack, and
Hmm.
Tennessee ran all over them.
Hmm.
And Tennessee's no great team.
Hmm.
So, I just want a complete team and an anonymous special teams.
There's going to be some
I want our
growing.
special teams to be boring. Boring would be
Right.
refreshing at this
There's
point.
growing pains with anything that's new, and there's a lot of new. There's a lot of new with this team. We have a lot of players that we're bringing back from a year ago. We've drafted a whole bunch of guys. We got a whole new coaching staff in a lot of different spots. So, I mean, I think fans should be. I think their expectations are not that great, but I'm also excited the more I, continue to watch this. And obviously, we're in spring training. We're still in t-shirts and shorts, but I'm more optimistic. Obviously, all Browns fans get this way a little bit before the season starts because I do like what I'm hearing. I do like seeing what I'm seeing. The coach's comments have me more engaged a little bit more this time around. He's an older guy. He doesn't have a lot of uh, head coaching job except Southern Miss in the NFL. He's been in the NFL for a while, so I think he has the respect of the players that are in there. And there's so many young players in this team. So let me ask you this: Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. These two guys, Denzel talked last week. I mean, Ohio against everyone else. Do
Ohio
you,
against the world.
yeah, do you suspect that he and Grant Delpit will still be here this season?
Oh yeah, they'll
Okay.
re-sign Delpit, and Ward has 2 more years on his contract. He's not
People have been
going.
talking about, well, just because of what happened with
He's
Miles.
not going anywhere. I mean, who you gonna? You got to get Andrew Berry blueprints the way he does trades. I mean, one of his specials is a player, and each team throws in a draft pick.
Yeah.
Well, this verse trade tells you if you're going to trade somebody who's really good,
Yeah.
you're going to have to give me back somebody who's really good. And
Yeah.
teams are not going to let go of talented, great, young cover corners. They're
Yeah.
just not. So you're not going to get anybody back that's even close, remotely close to Denzel Ward. So that trade's not going to happen. And just extend Delpit. He's the only guy you really got to worry about this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you get Watson out of here and get that the dead cap spread over 2 years, Andrew Berry said at the beginning of free agents, he said they were going to be targeted this year. They're going to spend a little bit more than last year, and then he said in 27 they were going to be, his words, very aggressive.
So okay, let's move ahead to 2027. You've already hit on it a little bit with what we're talking about with the quarterback competition, and if need be, a lot of people are projecting still in a lot of these very early mock drafts a year away that the Browns are going to take a quarterback. There's a plethora of quarterbacks out there. I just wrote an article that's coming out on Dog Pound Daily about the kid that was at Duke last year, but now Miami coming up this year, who started his career at Tulane. This is Darian Menza.
Yep.
And he really had a hell of a season last year at Duke. He threw 34 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He had 3,000 some yards. He lit it up in the bowl game, lit it up in the conference game. So I think they beat Virginia in the conference game and beat Arizona State in the Sun Bowl. So he's getting some more attention. The names out there: Dante Moore, Arch Manning, obviously are the big names, but this Menza kid, there's the kid from Oklahoma State. I can't think of it. It starts with an M, Metzenberger or something, long name out there in the Big 12 or whatever. So where are you at? I mean, you kind of talked about it earlier, but I mean, the Browns right now, that would be the pick if it was 2027. I mean, they have the early pick potentially. They have a later pick. If they needed a quarterback and they wanted, who do you think the Browns? I mean, right now probably the Browns don't have any idea.
Know.
Yeah.
You have no earthly idea what's going to happen. I mean, all the quarterbacks mentioned, half of them can flame out just like every year they always flame out. I mean, I mentioned that. Yeah. I don't project any, like I said in my blog, dogpoundsouth.net.
Yep.
I want, and everybody knows I didn't want Shedeur Sanders in the first or second round because I didn't think he was a first or second round quarterback. Hell,
right.
I still to this day don't think Cam Ward is the number 1 overall quarterback where he was taken. But if this kid can learn from Monken, follow instructions, clean up the messes he has, and he's got quite a few. Monken's already mentioned it this week that he's still retreating a little bit, throwing off his back foot. Things he's got to clean up. But if he can step forward and become a good quarterback, then they don't need to go on their Messiah chase again. And they can take those 11 draft picks they have for 2027 and the extra money they have once they get rid of Watson, and they can just refuel the tank and build on what's going to happen this season. I found it interesting that none of the betting services dropped their win total after the Myles Garrett trade. It's still 6.5, which that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah,
that they still think that they have the pieces. So, like I said, their floor is 7. Their ceiling is possibly 10, only because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. See the 2025 New England Patriots, who had the easiest schedule in the NFL last year. And let's see what happens. I mean, you look at that schedule, and the way it's positioned, I know a lot of people complain about it, including me. 6 out of the first 9 on the road. But they're on the road to teams like the Jets, Geno Smith is their starting quarterback,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
Last
yeah.
time we saw him, we sacked him 10 times. And it wasn't all Myles Garrett. I mean, at New Orleans, hosting Houston, I'm not sold on the Texans. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
CJ Stroud gets worse every year. And now he's getting into the bad habit of having turnovers. So, at the Jags, you catch them early. You host the Panthers. They made the playoffs with an 8-9 record in a
Mhm.
terrible conference.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there's a potential there. And you got that nice 3-game homestand, Vegas, Cincinnati, Atlanta. Nobody knows what Cincinnati's going to be like by that time of the season. Then at the Giants, and, it's possible.
Is it
10,
4 in a
9
row?
to
Wait,
10
is it?
is
I thought it was
possible.
4 in a row.
It's, well, you got
A
Houston
buy in
by
there.
Vegas, Cincinnati, Atlanta.
So 4 with a buy in between.
Buy in the middle.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
But
we don't know. We just don't know.
we just don't know. But there are always at least 5 new teams will make the playoffs every year.
Mhm.
And usually the team that loses Super Bowl doesn't get to the playoffs.
Mhm.
So there's one playoff team that's possibly not going to make it, in the New England Patriots. And I guarantee you, everybody's going to pick them to win the AFC East.
Well,
Let's
they've
see
got their, yeah.
let's see how they do against a tougher schedule than they had last year.
Yeah. No,
But
there's, well, there are still a lot of question marks. I think it's good that I like,
the biggest question mark, the
yeah.
biggest thing that goes against the Browns, when you talk to anybody and with the bookies, is
Mhm.
quarterback.
Mhm.
That's it. Quarterback. The running backs look good. Raheem Sanders today looked
Mhm.
good. I mean, there
Mhm.
were moments where people on the sidelines, he'd do something, and everybody go, whoo.
Mhm.
I mean, so they've already got 3 running backs.
Yeah. Hey, I had a question. I had
Dylan
a
Sampson the
question.
other day was just juking out people on screen passes and outs, and and Quishon Judkins looks like a new man. So I am not worried about the running game.
I want to go back to a different topic real quick before we leave everybody tonight, but this has to go back to the ownership with Jimmy Haslam. And I know you're down there in Tennessee, and I know there's a lot of conversation. It seems like there's people that are totally against the Haslams, and then there are people that are, on their side. And I know they're billionaires, but I had an interesting conversation with my cousin the other day. I think maybe I've mentioned this on air before, but they're season ticket holders. I'm a season ticket holder with the Cleveland, but with some of the more pricier season ticket holders that have, like, they've been with the Browns longer and such, and they're buying the more expensive seats. The Browns came out several weeks ago, a couple months ago maybe, and got information from those fans, gathering information, sharing with them a little bit about the cost of everything to these Browns fans. And apparently, I don't know if you've heard these numbers, but what he was sharing with me was there's like the initial payment. I think it's somewhere between, well, the whole payment, if they want to keep all their seats in this group. I think there's like 10 seats maybe, or 8 seats. It would be $175,000. Now, part of that is where they buy whatever that is, the PSL or whatever, and then the
PSL,
other, yeah, and then the rest, it would be the season tickets. But he
like a
was,
deed to your seat.
yeah. So anyway, he was just sharing that that's so expensive, and that he has got all these friends that are also season ticket holders, and I'm one of them. But he says at least 2 of the other ones, they're offering the same. That's the same cost. Now I haven't got anything because my seats are in the cheap seats up in the second deck. But he said 2 of his friends aren't. They're not going to renew. They've already canceled their season tickets. I guess what I'm getting at is, with all this money that the Haslam's are putting up, and I know there's some connections there to Tennessee and his brother, and this
His brother
Pilot
is
J.
is the majority owner of the Nashville Predators, the NHL team, and
So
former
yeah,
governor Bill Haslam, who just
okay,
recently brought in to the board of the Predators Nick Saban.
wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's a board member.
So, I mean, I guess the conversation we were having was just about how I didn't realize this connection. Maybe you knew this more, but Haslam sold Pilot J to Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I've been talking about that for years. When they got in
Yeah,
trouble with the feds and
yeah,
they got out of it in appeals here in
yeah,
Nashville, at the federal court here in
right.
Nashville, and the government decided not to re-prosecute. Part of the deal was they'd have to sell their shares of Flying Pilot J to Warren Buffett.
Yeah,
About 13 billion.
yeah,
They got about a billion a year to the last
right.
year, and then they got
Exactly. That's
the
what
last
my
$4
cousin.
billion.
Yeah, and my cousin's been in the business, the finance business for years too. So he was kind of giving me the lowdown too, like you're saying. I guess the conversation I'm trying to get to is like the Haslam's have all this money. They're billionaires. They're putting all this money. They're fronting all this money for the new stadium in 2029. But there's so many people out there, especially in social media, that are constantly belittling and putting these people down and trying to say that they're criminals. And it just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. And it's just sad, I think, because we're trying to build towards something bigger. And I wish fans wouldn't be so cynical. They think that these people, these Haslam's, are just evil people, and I don't see it that way. But I wanted your take because you've
Well,
kind
that's
of been
because they
around.
saved the Columbus Crew and built that
Yeah.
new stadium in Columbus.
Well, that was the other part of the conversation that came up on the radio this weekend here in Columbus because some people have been speculating that the Columbus Blue Jackets, the hockey team, might go up for sale. And if that ever were the case, the first person that would be putting all their money into it would be the Haslams. A lot of people here in
Sure,
Columbus
why not?
suspect,
You've
yeah,
got
and
part ownership of the Milwaukee Bucks. Why don't you add a hockey
a
team
hockey
to the
team. Well, it
resume?
would make sense, I guess. What's your take on the Haslams? I mean, do you care? I mean, like all of this that we're talking about, does it really matter much to you? Because I see some
Doesn't
people,
matter to me. I mean, they're
yeah,
billionaires. Every owner is a billionaire.
mhm.
Every NFL owner is a billionaire. So, what did Joel always call them? Cyborgs.
Yeah,
And that's what they are. I mean, they're going to do what's best for their pockets, and you got to know that going in. But they do nice things. I mean, they do. How many fields in Cleveland, high school fields, were
yeah,
resodded, and all the equipment they donate and they give to charities? Everybody thinks it's a tax write-off. When you're making that much money, you don't get that much of a tax write-off.
uh-huh.
So, but
Okay,
yeah, I'll wait and see how it turns out in 29. I
yeah,
mean, Titans fans are excited because their stadium's opening next year.
uh-huh.
Um, so, and who's the big? Oh God, I can't think of it. They're redoing the whole East Bank down there. Some big company came in and is putting a new corporate headquarters in there. That's the thing with the Nashville.
Hmm.
Corporate headquarters and hotels. I mean, right
Hmm.
now that's the reason they got the 2030 Super Bowl is because right now
Hmm.
Nashville already has about 65,000 hotel rooms downtown. And by 2030, they'll have 80,000. See, that's what Cleveland needs to do to get a Super Bowl. They got to build more hotels. That's the whole thing with the NFL.
James, thanks, James, for watching. I know James watched the other night on my show, and I didn't get to share his comments. So thank you. Appreciate it, James, for following us.
That's the setup. That's the way this new cycle of new stadiums is set up. They'll throw some cheap seats out there for the peasants,
So
but
basically, James, if you're listening to us later on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there, the Fanatical Elves. James wrote, so it'll end up being an away game because none of us Browns fans are going to be able to afford tickets to our home games. And then
well,
he
who said
also,
opposing fans are going to be able to afford tickets to?
are us Browns fans going to be able to afford even just going to a single game? Yeah,
That's a great question. I mean, PSL. Everybody thinks, oh, that's great. PSL is like a timeshare ownership. I mean, it's like a timeshare deed. Um, some of them are 10 years, some of them are 20 years, some of them are a lifetime. But
yeah,
it's here in Nashville when they announced the new stadium and they told all the season ticket holders, well, you got to buy a new PSL.
Mhm.
And a ton of them, just like what is happening in Cleveland. A lot
Yeah.
of season ticket holders said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Back in 98, before the stadium was even built, I gave you X amount of dollars, and you said the PSL was going to be a deed for my tickets. Well,
yes.
Surprise.
Well, and that's the frustrating part. Like my cousin and their season ticket holders, and I mean, you're asking them the front 175 and most the cost of a small house here in Columbus. It's crazy. It is nuts.
Well, we'll see. We'll see as we get closer to when the stadium opens.
My daughter just
What
rented a new house. They have a house in Seattle, and it's a $900,000 home. They're paying $3,200 rent. So there you go. Crazy money.
I had a house behind me that had it was a big lot, and they just built a duplex, a giant duplex.
Oh,
and
wow.
Each duplex is going for $555,000
Really?
each.
Holy moly! Wow.
Oh yeah, everything in my neighborhood. It's just, I mean, I paid $94,000 for this house back
Right.
in,
I know now it's probably
1993.
4 times that, maybe, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that's the same here in Columbus. We're having the same type of growth.
We've had an
Well,
growth.
you're in Nashville forever. Yeah.
I mean, my God, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, final takes here, Steve, on Thursday night.
Hopefully they'll. I'm encouraged that Grant Delpit was there. He didn't hold out.
Yeah.
He could have held out. If he was really, really disgruntled, he wouldn't have showed up. But he was there. He was with the team. So that shows he wants to be with Cleveland. So that's a good sign.
Yes.
Denzel Ward ain't going anywhere. Hopefully Andrew Berry, like I said, will fill in a little depth on the defensive side. They still need a defensive end. I would be happier with another veteran defensive end. Linebacker would be nice. They're a little bit thin after Schlesinger and Quincy Williams.
Yeah.
Even though they don't pay linebackers a lot, I'm glad they got Hickman signed. So safety is pretty much set. I hear Donovan McMillan is really impressing him.
Donovan Mitchell? Wait, he plays football?
Donovan McMillan. He and Banda had a relationship.
Yes.
I think Banda recruited him when Banda was in college. So that's good.
Yeah.
Another corner would be nice. Still a little worried about the corner, although I heard Michael Coates had a couple of good days. The undrafted rookie free agent who I really like.
Yes.
But I'd still feel better with another veteran corner. So hopefully between now and training camp, whenever the hell it is, Andrew Berry will fill in some spots with a little depth on the defense would make me a little more happier.
Cool. Folks, thanks for tuning in tonight to the Fanatical Elfz show. We are a great network of guys like Steve Gill right there. And yeah, him right there. Sam the Man Britton out there in Dallas, Texas, isn't with us tonight. But then we got Rod Bloom and his brother Jeff, who also do the Browns Blitz, and me, Johnny Cleveland. We appreciate you tuning in. I know we're not racing for any contest wins. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there that you can listen to, and some of them are entered in some contests, which is great. We love that you're in contests, but we're not in this for the contest. We just hope you come listen to us. We talk Browns
We're in
football.
it because we love the Cleveland Browns, just like you do.
Amen. So tune in next time. Keep following us on YouTube. Keep following us. So we're growing our brand on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're up to almost 430 followers on Facebook, 1,200 on TikTok, almost 1,300 now. So our YouTube channel's approaching 500. We want to get there. So if you're not following us on all those platforms, please do.
Tell your friends.
We're going to be giving away free stuff. And don't forget about Hemisphere Coffee Roasters and Sherry's Licorice. Might be giving away some of this stuff too soon. So.
Ooh, can I enter?
Yeah. Well,
I love licorice.
Maybe I'll just give you some. So we'll.
Lovely.
I'm just giving away Michigan State gear and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, Michigan.
I'm still confused by that.
Sam. I know Sam loves Michigan State. He just picked the team. I think he gets because they wear green. I think that's what he said one time to me when he was a kid.
Well, I
It
had
was
a friend
different.
who wasn't a big NFL fan, and back then the big teams that they all talked about were Pittsburgh and Dallas, and he got sick of them, so he just picked Tampa because of their uniforms. That's when they wore the orange stickle uniforms.
Well, folks, again, thanks again. Have a good evening. Thanks, Steve. Talk to you soon, everybody. Go Browns.
Go Browns!